Hello, my name is Howard Slatter, and I'm chairman of the Trumpington Local History Group. I'm going to show you how we've put together information about people and places in Trumpington over the last 200 years and collected that into a series of maps. Firstly, where is Trumpington? This map shows Cambridge in the east of England, a well-known university city. This next map shows where Trumpington is in relation to Cambridge, about 2 miles south of the city centre. It is now administratively part of Cambridge, but for most of its history was a separate village and parish. There are 3 elements to what I want to show you. Firstly, people. We need to collect information about people who have lived here. Then, places. We need to work out where the various locations in Trumpington are and have been in history. And then we need to combine those and put them together onto maps. So, people. Where do we get the information from? What sources are available? There are 4 broad groups of sources. Firstly, national available records, which anyone who's done any family history will be familiar with. They include the censuses, the indexes from the General Register Office, the National Archives, the British Newspaper Archive. Here's an example of a newspaper advertisement telling us where 2 cottages were when they were sold in 1843 and the names of the people who lived there. And a census record from 1911 for a family by the name of Chapman who lived in a street in Trumpington called Alva Terrace. Then we come to local archives. There are 3 main categories here for Trumpington: the Cambridgeshire County Archives, together with the Cambridgeshire Collection, which houses printed material, the archives of colleges of Cambridge University, several of which are associated with the parish, and we're fortunate that we have access to a private archive which contains a variety of documents relating to one of the local landowning families. For example, Cambridgeshire County Archives have this 1841 document listing the inhabitants of Trumpington, which of course is in parallel to the 1841 census. From the Cambridgeshire Collection, an electoral register. These are a huge source of information, but only of course showing the adults who were entitled to vote, and that means that most women were excluded until 1929. A document from one of the Cambridge colleges, Trinity, who hold the living of the parish of Trumpington and also held a lot of land here until recently. The private archive has documents such as this one, a list of the cottagers' rents paid to the landowner in 1849, showing where they lived. Then we have the Trumpington parish registers. We are again fortunate in that reliable transcripts of these are available on CD-ROM from the County Family History Society. You can also see these online if you have the right access, but to have them in one place is invaluable. And finally, particular local records from the village itself, such as this war memorial in the Free Church, which supplements the main village war memorial. Application forms for the local branch of the British Legion. Registers of the Trumpington Allotment Society. Record books of the 44th Cambridge Trumpington Scout Troop. The parish magazine, with all its advertisements telling us who ran a business and where. Once we have all that information about the people, what do we do with it? It all goes into a family history database. I happen to use software called Brothers Keeper, but there are many options available. That, in turn, we convert into family group sheets, which get published online on our website. Here's the Chapman family again. And here's where they lived from 1908 onwards, Saw Mills Cottages in Alpha Terrace. And that brings us to places. Sources for places include Ordnance Survey maps. For example, this 1885 25 inches to the mile map from the National Library of Scotland website. Richard Baker produced a map of Cambridge in 1830, and Trumpington just gets squeezed in at the bottom of that. This particular print hangs on the wall of Trumpington Village Hall. The Enclosure Award in the early 1800s has very detailed maps associated with it. And of course, there are modern maps such as the ones that I showed you at the beginning of this presentation. Now we come to actually combining the people and the places and showing you where they were. The first step is to make individual pages about streets in Trumpington and the people who've lived there over time. These examples I'm now going to show you are all on our website. Here's the index page with a list of streets. And here's the Alpha Terrace page. Within that page, here's the Chapman family I showed you earlier. Now, all that information needs to go onto a series of maps. Here's the basic strategy that we used. Build a series of digital maps over time, link those maps to the people who lived in various places, and then publish it all on the website. I use a free and open source geographic information system software package called QGIS. It takes a bit of learning, but once you have mastered the basics, you can produce maps like these ones. Here's a map from our website showing Trumpington Parish in 1861. All the little purple dots are individual residences we have identified. You can zoom in on it and see the village in the middle. You can move forwards or backwards 10 years at a time. And if we go forward to 1901, here's the village again. Up at the top, there's Alpha Terrace that I have been talking about. Zoom in on that, and there outlined is number 2 Alpha Terrace, or Sawmills Cottages. Click on that, and you get a pop-up. Click on the link in the pop-up, and it takes you to the people who live there. Click on the individual family, and you get that family group sheet that I showed you earlier. So that's what you can do. It takes some putting together, but once it's there, it's a tremendous resource for people who want to know about the history of the village. Have a look at the website and try it for yourself. The various links and QR codes in the slides will take you there. Thank you for watching.